everybody. It is Lee Milteer, and welcome to Authentic and Unapologetic. Our topic today is called Manifesting Your Best Future. And we're talking about a subject that honestly fascinates me and many people because it's one of the most misunderstood topics in the entire self-help world. And that topic, of course, is manifestation. Now, most people hear the word manifestation and think vision boards, positive affirmations, thinking rich, and somehow magical, controlled universe is going to take over. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think manifestation actually works that way. And I have studied this more than anybody I know. So how do I think it works? Well, yes, first, I think thoughts matter very much. I think energy matters very much. And I think emotional states affect your life, like at least 100%. That's how much. But I think manifestation is much deeper than most people realize. And I think before you blame yourself for trauma, betrayal, heartbreak, abuse, illness, loss, or painful life experience, that is not controlling you. And that is not my belief system of how your life is going to get successful, because I know life can be difficult. I've certainly lived through a lot of it. Painful things happen. I have a long list of that. People make terrible choices that sometimes I get affected by. But what I do believe that is very important to remember is that life constantly reflects back to you so you can become more conscious of your patterns, your fears, your boundaries, your nervous system, and your self-worth. Don't forget, be aware of what you tolerate, what feels familiar, and the identity that we are unconsciously operating from every single day is going to show up in your life. Because most people are not actually living aware and conscious. They're reacting unconsciously. They're saying things like, oh, this always happens to me. Nothing works out for me. People always disappoint me. Life is hard. I never get ahead. And over time, those repeated thoughts become identity because remember, we're self-fulfilling prophecies. And identity always starts to shape your mindset and your behavior. And behavior starts always shaping your outcomes. This is why I think manifestation is not just positive thinking. It's actually identity work. It's emotional work. It's like your nervous system work. And yes, it is also spiritual work. And honestly, this is where most people get super uncomfortable because it requires radical responsibility. And we all know most people really don't like to be responsible. And it doesn't require blaming yourself, but it does require the responsibility. And that's a huge difference. Because remember, when you blame yourself or anybody else, that causes shame. Responsibility creates power. Remember that. Responsibility creates power. Because once you realize that you may have more influence over your experience of life than you were taught to believe, everything starts to shift. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is this experience trying to show me? And that's a completely different conversation that's going on in your head. And often the external problem is actually revealing an internal pattern that a lot of people haven't healed yet. Maybe chaos feels normal because peace feels unfamiliar. Maybe overworking became your identity because you tried to create and connect your worth with productivity. I'm very guilty of this. Maybe you tolerate draining people because deep down you feel rejection. I think we've all felt that. Maybe you struggle receiving because your nervous system associates receiving with pressure, guilt, or obligation. Maybe you chase unavailable relationships because true intimacy feels unsafe. Now, I know some of you are going to hear this kind of conversation and immediately get defensive. But honestly, I think awareness is one of the most powerful things a human being can develop because once you become conscious, you can change. Once you change internally, something fascinating starts to happen externally. Your standards rise. Your boundaries strengthen. Your decisions become cleaner. You stop tolerating what drains you and even people who drain you. You operate less from desperation. You stop chasing validation. You stop saying yes to things your soul is screaming no to. And bit by bit, your life literally starts to change. Not because you've magically controlled the universe, not because your internal state is affected. It is because you're perceiving life differently. You're responding differently. You're doing things differently, such as what you allow, what you tolerate, what opportunities you now start to recognize and maybe take action on, and the energy you carry every day, and the kinds of people and situations that you continue to stay around. Now, that's true manifestation. It's not fantasy, not pretending, not fake positivity. It's a conscious participation of being present in your own life and knowing what you are energetically putting into the world. And honestly, I think that's where the magic begins. I have lived this personally. I did not come from money. I did not inherit success. I didn't have any. When I was growing up, I remember living in the middle of nowhere. I had no mentors. I really had no role models. I had no money and I had no support system. And as this poor rancher's daughter, I learned very quickly if I wanted a different life, I was going to have to become a different version of who I was taught to be as a child, a different version of myself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and even financially. And over decades of coaching entrepreneurs, leaders, and business owners and high achievers, I've noticed and clocked in my head some very interesting thoughts. See, the people I've noticed and studied who have transformed their lives don't just change their strategies. They actually change their ID, their identity. They stop operating from fear. They stop creating from survival mentality. They begin to create from clarity, certain emotional alignment, and the most important thing, personal responsibility to self. And that is why I believe manifestation and healing are very deeply connected. Because when you change the relationship you have with yourself, you're actually changing the relationship you have with your life. Your future changes when you change. Now, if this message hits you, I'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe to my brand new podcast. Please leave a comment because these conversations matter. If you're interested in going deeper into this kind of work with me personally, you can learn more about my one-on-one coaching and my VIP personal vision days in Virginia Beach, Virginia. You can simply go to milteer.com under my coaching tab, and that's Milteer. And don't forget, I always have a free gift for you. It's called the 5 Types of Energy. And you learn about mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual and financial energy, 5-minute videos. They're all free. They're normally $100, but they're yours for free. And remember, all you have to do is go to 5 Types of Energy, FIVE, spell it out, typesofenergy.com, and those will come to you absolutely free. And so until next time, stay authentic, stay unapologetic, and remember that the life you want begins with becoming the version of yourself that is finally ready to receive it. And I promise you I can help you get there if you're looking for it. So this is Lee signing off. See you next week.